This is why it was important for everybody to have an individual jinn. Now, because this jinn is evil creature, so obviously it will trouble us. And some people say, what if we did not have it? We would be pure. Yeah, but God is not stupid. If God had placed an evil thing in you, there must have been a reason why He did it. And that reason is, a human being is a compound creature. You have angels in your body, you have jinn in your body, you have ruh jamadi, the solidifying soul, you have ruh nabati, the botanical soul, and you have ruh hawani, which is the living soul. And you have all these souls in all the trees, all the stones, and all the animals. So basically you have everything in you. So as a human being, you can feel how to be a tree. We breathe in oxygen and we release carbon dioxide when we fart. The trees do the same. In the daytime, they release oxygen, and at night time, they release carbon dioxide. So even the trees fart. We have bones, which are pretty similar to stones. Like trees, we grow, don't we? And our shape is like any other animal. The only difference is that the four-legged ones have the first two legs of them, they use them as hands, but they can't walk straight on two legs, whereas we can. Otherwise, they have a pair of hands and a pair of legs, and we have a pair of hands and a pair of legs. If an animal wants to feel how to be a human being, he can do that. If a tree wants to feel how a human being feels, he can't do that. But a human being have the ability and potential. If he wants to feel how God feels, he can do that. If a human being wants to feel how a jinn feels, he can do that. But all these different types of creature, they are lost in their individuality. They are in the shell of their very individuality, and they cannot come out of that shell. They're limited. The feelings are limited. Their being is pretty limited. Whereas a human being have all the ingredients of his entire creation. Lower self is from the species of jinn. There are two types of creature who live in this world: human beings and jinn. Jinn are made of fire, and we were made of clay. And then God blew upon us our bodies made of clay, and it turned into flesh and bones. So we have two main types of creatures in this world. Main: human beings and jinn. If a jinn join forces with the devil, they turn into evil spirits. The Prophet of Islam said every human being is born with a jinn. And they have outnumbered human beings on earth. And to be more precise, a human baby takes at least 9 months in the womb of baby's mother in order to be fully grown-up baby. And then after 9 months, any time the baby is delivered. So 9 months. But jinns, they have babies every 3 months. Now, mostly one baby is born at a time. and sometimes twins. But every time a female jinn delivers babies, there are 80 babies. And that's normal practice. 80. And it can exceed. Sometimes 100, sometimes 120, sometimes 140. So you can imagine how vast their population is. And the trouble is, we are not able to see them. I mean, just imagine if all the cameras, speed cameras and red light cameras stop working, there will be chaos on the streets of London. People would be jumping red lights, people would be speeding up like maniac, because there is no speed camera working, no red light camera is working. You have no fear of getting a ticket, no speeding ticket, no ticket for jumping the red lights. It can't get worse. Okay? So you cannot be detected if the speed cameras and red light cameras are not working. You can jump the light and get away with it. You can go at 50 miles per hour in 30-mile area because there is no camera. So you'll get away with it just because you cannot be detected. These are the speed cameras. What about jinn? You cannot see them. You do not know how they enter your body. You do not know when you speak, who speaks in you. You know, His Holiness Sarkar Gohar Shahi said, 80% of the diseases that people suffer from today are not caused by anything else but the jinns. They enter into your body and enter into your different organs and they mess up. Is there any scientist who can do anything about it? We are so much concerned about climate change, about this change, about quality of air or quality of water. But what about these things that you cannot even see? And it's not that they do not recognize their existence. There are hundreds and hundreds of movies on this subject by Hollywood. Exorcism. This topic, this very genre is about encounters of people with jinn, those who turn into evil spirits. And you see, when fiction was added to such movies, now people have changed their concept about evil spirits. They think evil spirits can do so much, like they portray a character of an evil spirit in the movies. The way evil spirits operate in your body is very discreet, unseeable. You cannot detect, you cannot see them. So there is a lot of information on these jinns and evil spirits, but nobody has practically got to see them in person. Some people in the West, the true and genuine clairvoyants, were able to interact with jinn and lower self, the negative psyche of man. However, it was just an interaction. You see, my friends, the problem is when a human being dies, his lower self, which himself is a jinn, that jinn of the deceased person is set free after your death. That is free. Now, do not get me wrong. I am telling you the truth. This is why it is the best policy to bury your dead. Because when you cremate your dead, the evil spirit in him is set free. This is why in India, people have more problems than anywhere else in the world. This is why people in England and Europe and UK and USA and Canada, New Zealand, Australia, wherever they cremate the dead bodies, their jinn is set free. and turn into an evil spirit. But when you bury your dead, that evil spirit of you stays in the grave. So it's not a good idea. It's very polluting spiritually not to bury your dead. Because when the body is cremated, your jinn is set free. And they love pestering people. I mean, mischief is in their nature. By nature, they are mischievous. They want to hurt people. They find it, amusing. They are bemused by pestering people. This is why His Holiness Gohar Shahi said, Nafs-e Ammara, the lowest of the lower self, they find pleasure in harming and hurting others. And you will see people who enjoy harming and hurting others. But this is in the nature of your negative psyche, Latifa nafs, the lower self. Now your well-being is at stake. And the trouble is, you cannot even spot your enemy around you. They can use you anytime, abuse you anytime. They can abuse your body in any way. They can come in your dream and they can have sexual interaction with you, even sexual intercourse. Some female jinn can come in your dream and they have this opportunity. They can enter you and they can have sex with you in dream, and it happens. This is why Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Prophet of Islam, said to Muslims, before they have sexual intercourse with their wife, they should say the prayer, a special prayer, which will protect you and your wife from being hurt by the evil spirits. Now, if you are not enlightened one, if your heart is not activated, you have no nur in your body. You have no divine presence in your body. Majority of Muslims and Christians and Hindus do not know this, that their religiosity is confined to phrasal religiosity, word of mouth. When they worship, their worship is very superficial. Their worship does not enter their body, does not enter their heart or soul. So their worship is wasted, and they think they have become holy. So your inside is as dark as it is even when you do not worship at all. So you get married and you sleep with your wife. Now, because you do not have any divine presence in you, you do not have nur in your body, you do not have energy, divine energy in your body. So, any jinn can come in you and have sex with your wife with you while you are doing it. And the children who may be born as a result of that sexual interaction can be a mule, half jinn, half human being. I tell you what Sarkar Gohar Shahi said. It is the devil and these jinn who enter in your body and, whisper in your ears, in your heart, and they cause a good, loving husband and wife fight, argue, without a reason. Sometimes you will feel that you're completely okay, but you feel agitated, irritated. There is no apparent reason for you to be angry, but you have this urge to be angry. This is manipulation caused by jinn. So God had planned to give every human being one individual jinn who was to reside within you so that you can come in terms with how he feels, how he lives, what his nature is, so you can understand, and then you protect yourself. Because you know the enemy, because you are housing one enemy in you, and you're supposed to develop a very friendly relationship with your own jinn. And that will only happen when your lower self, your individual jinn, is purified. As soon as your jinn that lives in you is purified, then it tells you secret about jinn, how to protect yourself against them. So every messenger of God, whether it was a messenger of God or a prophet of God or a saint of God or a mystic, every single human being was born with one jinn. The companions of the Prophet asked him, "Were you too born with a jinn, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam?" And the Prophet of Islam sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, "Yes, even I was born with a jinn, but that jinn was purified in my inner company." Because he was all lit up inwardly, wasn't he? So the moment the jinn was placed inside the body, it was all purified. But we are not lit up. We do everything that pleases the jinn. So in our bodies, our jinn gets stronger and stronger and stronger every day. And a time comes when we only look like human beings, but we are walking, talking jinn. Now, Adam was the first of all messengers. If he wasn't familiar with jinn and their nature, how would he protect his followers against jinns? So it was important for a messenger of God to be familiar and to be able to have control over all jinns in this world. If he's not able to protect his followers against jinn, then what's the point being a messenger of God? He will tell them stories about God one day, the other day they're turned against it. All the hard work has gone down the drain. It was useless. So it was important that all these messengers of God, all these saints of God should have been familiar with jinn and their nature. Therefore, God had planned to include one jinn in our compound being so we are familiar with their nature. And then by virtue of obtaining purification, we will then transform our jinn into an angel. And it will help us gain control over all the jinns around us, and we find a shield against those jinns, the evil spirits. This is why it was important for everybody to have an individual jinn. Now, because this jinn is evil creature, so obviously it will trouble us. And some people say, what if we did not have it? We would be pure. Yeah, but God is not stupid. If God had placed an evil thing in you, there must have been a reason why He did it. And that reason is that it is for your protection. The potential is there. You need to know how to use it. Look, when you see a dream, we don't physically travel in dreams, do we? If you see Jesus in dream, what are you seeing? The body of Jesus? No. If you see Prophet Muhammad in your dream, you're not seeing the body of Prophet Muhammad. If you see Sarkar Gohar Shah in your dream, you're not seeing Sarkar Gohar Shah's body in your dream. It's the lower self of Jesus. It's the lower self of Prophet Muhammad. It's the lower self of Sarkar Gohar Shahi that will travel into dream and bless you and guide you and do all the rest of the things that you need. Now, had there not been any of them, who would come and bless us in the dream? The bodies cannot travel from this phenomenal world, from this terrestrial realm, into a spiritual realm which the dreams comes from. The purpose of this nafs is to pull you towards the devil and pull you towards materialism, money, fame, luxury, comfort. If you didn't have this in your body, you would never demand any luxury. You would never enjoy your food. You would not even enjoy your sex without it. Do you want to do that? No. The taste buds are directly linked with the lower self. If the lower self leaves the body, you can eat anything. No taste. Not having Latifa nafs in the body is half coronavirus. Isn't it? You don't taste the food. So the reason why you're able to enjoy these things that God has provided you with is all because you have Latifa nafs in your body. If you didn't have Latifa nafs in your body, you would never want to put on nice, fancy clothes. Probably you wouldn't even want to wear clothes. Who cares? So, it's a blessing in disguise to have got an individual jinn in your body, which is helping you kill time in this world. Otherwise, without presence of this creature in our body, we wouldn't be able to spend our time. 70, 80, 90 years in this world without good food, without any pleasure, without any luxury and comfort. It's terrible.
ALRA TV, the place